Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're tackling the book of Exodus.
It's one of those texts that you may think you know.
Right. You hear about Moses, the plagues, the parting of the Red Sea, but there's so much more beneath the surface.
Absolutely. It's a foundational text for Judaism and Christianity.
It's impacted legal systems and cultural values for centuries. So let's unpack that together.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so Exodus, as many know, begins with the Israelites enslaved in Egypt.
Right. Their population had grown so large that the Pharaoh felt threatened.
So he decided to basically enslave them. Forced labor, horrible conditions.
A classic story of oppression, sadly one that we see throughout history in different forms.
Definitely. And it's into this desperate situation that God chooses Moses to be the Israelites' liberator.
Now, the story of Moses' birth and early life, that's a whole other deep dive in itself.
We could do a whole episode on that, but for now, we're focused on his role in leading the Israelites out of Egypt.
And that's where things get really interesting with the 10 plagues.
It's such a powerful image. God demonstrating his power over the Egyptian gods.
Each plague directly challenged a specific Egyptian deity, turning the Nile to blood, swarms of locusts, darkness covering the
It
land.
was a way of saying, my power is greater than yours.
And a way of getting Pharaoh's attention, of course.
For sure.
Yeah.
But Pharaoh, he's stubborn. It takes all 10 plagues to finally break his will.
And even then, he changes his mind and chases after the Israelites as they flee.
Leading to that truly iconic scene, the parting of the Red Sea.
I mean, talk about an epic moment of divine intervention.
It's a scene that's been portrayed in art and film countless times.
It's just a symbol of liberation, of overcoming impossible odds.
And for the Israelites, it must have been a truly awe-inspiring experience. It solidified their faith in God.
Totally. They'd seen God's power firsthand, their deliverance from slavery.
So they escape, right? But their journey isn't over. They end up at Mount Sinai.
And this is where we see their relationship with God really take shape.
It's where the covenant is established,
It's a binding agreement between God and the Israelites.
where God promises to protect and guide them, and in return, they agree to follow his laws.
And at the heart of this covenant are the 10 commandments.
It's fascinating how these commandments are still relevant today, even though they were given thousands of years ago.
Right. They address core ethical principles. You shall not murder, you shall not steal, honor your father and mother.
It's a moral code that has influenced societies across the globe.
And it wasn't just the 10 commandments. Moses received a whole set of laws, a detailed blueprint for how the Israelites were to live.
A blueprint covering everything from religious rituals to social justice to dietary laws.
It shows how seriously they took this covenant. It wasn't just about belief, it was a way of life.
And to further solidify this connection, God instructs Moses to build the tabernacle.
A portable sanctuary, symbolizing God's presence among his people.
I've always found the tabernacle fascinating. Imagine carrying this elaborate structure with you wherever you go.
It was a physical reminder of the covenant and the focal point for their worship and rituals.
So Exodus, it's so much more than just a story of escape from slavery.
It's about the forging of an identity, the establishment of a covenant, and the birth of a faith that would shape history.
It's a story of liberation, divine power, and the enduring search for meaning and belonging.
And it definitely leaves us with a lot to think about.
For sure. As we reflect on Exodus, how do its themes resonate in our lives today?
What does liberation mean for us personally? And what covenants, spoken or unspoken, shape our own journeys?
Those are some great questions to ponder. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Exodus.
Until next time.
See y'all soon.